Hello and welcome to the EMTV Social. We've got a full house tonight. Myself, Graham Munsey, joined by Dave Howe and John McGilvery as we look ahead to a big match for the Monarchs. It's semi-final of the BSN Series time, 7:30 p.m. on Friday, and a visit of the Scunthorpe Scorpions. We'll hear from David Howe, the Scunthorpe manager, and from the Monarchs' point of view, Dave, John, and I will talk you through that. So, John, we'll come to you first, and we all know now that the playoffs are gone, mathematically impossible. Albeit we've still got two league matches, to run. So all eyes move to the BSN series, and Friday we need to put a marker down.
Absolutely, Graham. It's imperative we go off to a good start as well. Kai moving to number 2. Josh has been a good start in most of the most recent meetings, so fingers crossed that keeps going. But yeah, we've had a wee break there. Unfortunately, the Glasgow match only lasted 7 heats until the rain was beating us. So we've had a few weeks break. Hopefully the guys can come and revitalise. We've got Josh, who is absolutely flying. That 20 points he scored at Glasgow was incredible. I watched some of his meeting on Monday night when he was at Ipswich.
Yeah,
it was incredible. So if he keeps that form going, we've got a guy really at the top of his game. And you're right, it's important we put a marker down and get as big a lead as possible as we can.
Yeah, and Dave, it's the last time the Scorpions were at Armadale, that's what the Monarchs did. I mean, was it 56-34 that night? But this is a different Scorpions team, of course. That night they were missing Michael Pamtoft and Luke Harrison. They head north on Friday with a full 1-7. And remarkably, it's a team that a lot of people maybe don't speak about, but they're still on for the treble, albeit they need to have some kind of performance at home at Poole to get through in the KO Cup. But still a lot to ride for Scunthorpe, and we can't take that for granted.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're a really strong team at home, all 1-7, and they are solid riders. Every one of them pretty dependable. Maybe after losing Ryan Douglas, they don't quite have that out-and-out number one that they might need, and hopefully that might be an area that we can take advantage of. But yeah, they're very strong, as you say, in all competitions, and with a great chance. The same last season, they've had 2 or 3 seasons like this now, Scunthorpe, and they are capable of getting some big wins at home. So that's where it's up to us on Friday night to go and stamp our authority all over this meeting, get a big lead, because it's going to be a close match over the 2 legs.
Yep, and as we stand, we mentioned there Scunthorpe have a full 1-7. But the headline news, we are delighted to announce that Justin Sedgman has declared himself fit. So as we stand, recording this on a Wednesday night, of course, there'll be Premiership matches, etc. on Thursday. But as it stands, 2 full 1-7s. And rider replacements kind of did the job at home. The news must have came in too late for you, Dave. So we've still got TBC next to Justin Sedgman's name there on the graphic. We only got that updated in the last little while, so we can let Dave off for that. But John, we saw at home, we've probably been able just about to cover RR, but everyone's happier when Justin's back in the team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We spoke to him in the tower on the Friday before. He was having a skid on the Wednesday. He was having a race the Wednesday to see if he'd been fit. But because it was the Wednesday in Glasgow, it was the Wednesday night, he had to make a decision. I'm going to have to go and say I can't ride, because he doesn't want to let anyone down by going there on the Wednesday and saying, I can't do it. And then there maybe could have been an Eric Riss or someone who could have joined. So he's had to say fairly early, look, I can't do it. The signs have obviously been good. He's had another week's rest on from that. And I don't think when we spoke to him at the Glasgow match that he was far away. I think, Dave, you might have even been in the tower.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. He was saying his head injury was okay. He was back to making the usual joke about it. It was only his head, and it was just his knee that was still giving him some jips. So really good to hear that he is fighting fit and ready to go for Friday. Because as we saw last Wednesday night at Glasgow, sometimes rider replacement just doesn't cut it, and even rider replacement at his best isn't as good as Justin Sedgman at his best this season. So it's great to have him back on board. It's great to have a full 1-7. And as you said earlier, Graham, I think it's great to have 2 teams of 1-7 at this stage of the season.
Yeah, it's how cup matches should be. We all know injuries happen and people have their own opinions on rider replacement and guest facilities and all that kind of stuff. But But yeah, how refreshing to see that, as the clock ticks or the calendar turns over towards the end of August, we're going to a cup semi-final, 2 teams gunning for glory and 2 teams putting out their own 1-7 and ready to go for it. And yeah, for me, I think getting Justin back's key. You maybe touching it there. It's a solid Scunthorpe outfit, maybe rather than a spectacular one. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just say that they don't have that. Ryan, any one of their riders is capable of winning any heat, and I think they're very strong at second string and reserve in particular. But that's where at home, it's the kind of match. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did Justin and Josh maybe both go through the card or only drop 1 or 2 points between them when Scunthorpe were up the last time?
I think they both got paid maximums or something, I'm sure, the last time.
Yeah.
And just on that, sorry, Graham, interrupted. You're saying about 1-7s. You guys all know better than me. As Edinburgh haven't made any team changes this season. Is that the same 1-7 that Scunthorpe started the season with?
Yep. Yeah,
so
two teams that started with that.
Also, is it in a time where teams want to change riders? Some of the stuff that's going on in that Premiership is wild. But yeah, here we are at the end of August, and both teams have the same 1-7 that they had at the start of the season. I like that. I've got to say, I'm a big fan of that. Guys who have, there was crackpots out there talking about Paco earlier in the season. The guy's been brilliant. Max James' form's dipped a wee bit, but we're sticking with him. I'm sure Scunthorpe will have had their issues up and down the season, but they've stuck with the same 1-7. So it's really refreshing going into the end of August. 2 teams with the same 1-7 and full 1-7s as well.
Yeah, of course, guests do happen in Speedway, and we're trying to get a 4th guest onto the show just now. Dave, who's that that's trying to join you?
Little dog called Sky is trying to sneak in here. Another noise one in the background. Unfortunately, my wife's, because she's got a finger injury, she's away to get that checked. So she's not. So we need a guest for that. But no, as you say. But Scunthorpe, they have had their injuries. Pam Toff's had a significant amount of time off the bike this year as well. Yeah. So they have had some challenges, but yeah, no, I can't agree more. We want to have both teams 1-7, 15 great races on Friday night, and I think the standard when you ask the team manager looking for at least 10, I think we need as much as possible because Scunthorpe are capable, as I said earlier, of taking a lot of points at home.
Yeah, very good at home, our Scunthorpe, but the Monarchs can be as well, and they'll be hoping to build up a big lead Friday night, 7:30. Tickets are available now. edinburghmonarchs.co.uk/tickets. You link for that. And if you can't make it along, then do join. I'm also like to say myself and Mike Hunter. Mike now recovered well enough from his operation to get himself back to Armadale, which we all know how much he loves. So it'll be myself and Mike Hunter on the stream at edinburghmonarchs.co.uk/EMTV. I think if we look at some of the comments coming in, Dave, I think there's probably a bit of a consensus, isn't there? We'll look at one there from Ryan Anderson. That's the longest one, if it makes it easier for you to find when you click the button. It's we need to hit Scunthorpe Hardale. We're on. Seeing that there, especially with the home form. Top 5 should have the upper hand. Could be at reserve. Abbott and Harrison. We both know what they're capable of, home and away. I particularly remember Luke Harrison having some cracking races at Armadale, albeit was it maybe the NDL last season? And Nathan Abbott, another one who's come on fantastically and really been a credit to Scunthorpe for sticking with. We saw him at Poole for a year, and then he went to Scunthorpe and thought, okay, maybe he'd struggled a bit for Poole, but he's putting it right. And I think the last I looked, he'd put his average up to about 4.5. So that's going to be key, and that's where we need Connor and Max to really do the job there as well. John, who's been my co-host on the stream for the last little while, heart and determination needed. We need at least 14 points, John saying, to take down there to have any chance. I mean, to say any chance, to have a good chance, But that's right. It's, Dave, you said it, didn't you? And John, I'll come to you now. I want to bet when you speak to Alex before the match, as you normally do for the managers' interviews for the stream, Alex's tune very rarely changes when it comes to the home leg first. As big a victory as possible, but minimum 10.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You know what Alex is. Not always know what he's going to say, but he's done it so long. He's seen it all before. He's so level-headed, especially half an hour, 45 minutes before a meeting. And yeah, he'd probably say the same, minimum 10, but anything 14 to 20. I think if it was somewhere in there, he would shake your hand right now for that. And I kind of agree with John. I think if it would be a 14-point lead, I don't think we'd have any chance. But I think that would be something I could say we could really go and defend and have a good chance.
Yeah, and Dave, of course, we'll maybe do John's job for him here. I don't know if it'll be John or Liam that'll be speaking to David Howe before the match, but I caught up with him earlier in the week. So we'll hear David Howe's thoughts on the upcoming BSN Series Semi-Final matchup now.
So David, obviously it's BSN Series Semi-Final time, and a big end to the season awaits for Scunthorpe. Obviously still in all three competitions, albeit a lot of work to do maybe in the KO Cup, but the club saw last year when they won that KO Cup just how much it means to everyone, and I'm sure you're looking to Friday to start building towards a big end to the season.
Yeah, obviously it's what every team at the start of the year builds up to. Obviously a few drop out along the way, and Scunthorpe are very much still in it. Same as Edinburgh. And it's the first leg of an important semi-final. Nobody really remembers who's in the semi-final, so you want to be in those big matches at the end of the year, don't you?
Yeah, and then of course, kind of looking back to when the two sides faced off there in the season, it was a reasonable heavy defeat for Scunthorpe at Armadale, but that there was mitigating circumstances. You look at Michael Pam-Toff was out, Luke Harrison was missing, and I think from memory between Ryder replacement and Mickey coming in, it was 6 points. On a bad day, you expect that to become 9 or 10 minimum between those two. So 5 or 6 more from that position, everyone else does the same, and what was a 20-point deficit last time becomes an 8 or a 10-point deficit, and then it's all to play for in the home leg.
Yeah, obviously it was quite a hectic night at Edinburgh that night, and if something could have gone wrong, kind of went wrong. It has tended to be this year for Scunthorpe when we go back to a track for the second time. We have done a lot better. We haven't always done very well on the road on our first attempt, so we'll be looking for more. At Armadale. We do rely heavily on our home form. We cannot hide away from that. But we also got to have respect for the Monarchs. They're one of the few teams who have taken a bonus point off us this year. And they ran us, even though we were 19 points up at one stage at home, they pulled that back and ran us, I think, by 8 points or something, 8 or 10. So, I don't think either team can underestimate each other, and we certainly won't be underestimating Edinburgh. So we're looking for a lot stronger performance on Friday.
Yeah, and then just from your own point of view, obviously you've been on both sides of the fence. You've storied career as a rider. You were in the pits with Dougie the last couple of years as a mechanic, and now into team management. How are you finding the change, and how have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the team. It's hard as an ex-rider because you quickly become irrelevant as well, and the people that you grew up and rode with and knew kind of drop out in sport, and suddenly you face, you're the old man who's talking about his glory days with riders who don't even know you are. But luckily with this team, I've either raced with them, against them, or I've been with them. When I've been with Ryan. So I know them all. Luke was the only person I personally didn't know at the start of the year. So it's been a good introduction to team management with these lads. They're a great bunch, and I enjoy it. I mean, I still enjoy what I'm doing with Ryan. But it's whereas being a mechanic was different to being a rider, being a team manager is different again. But yeah, I enjoy everything I do in the sport.
Yeah, David Howe there, Scunthorpe team boss, and I'm sure he'll have thoughts of the try. He was one of the best visiting riders ever at Armadale, a British Under-21 final winner there, a Scottish Open winner there, and there was a few times he maybe could have or should have or would have been a Monarch but for other circumstance. So he'll certainly be able to give his boys pointers, and it's a big match. We've said it once already, so Friday night, 7:30. Tickets available now, edinburghmonarchs.co.uk/tickets, and your stream is edinburghmonarchs.co.uk/EMTV. Second leg follows 2 weeks after, my maths is right, on the 6th of September. A few Monarchs matches still to come, as you can see on there. That's the semi-final. So the first leg of the other semi-final is Poole Workington. That's due to take place in Dorset tonight. A week on Saturday, the return leg at Poole. And then from a Monarchs point of view, from the club point of view, still a fair amount of speedway to go. Obviously, we've got Scunthorpe on Friday, Poole the following Friday, and then the academy team. A long break for them over the course of the season, but 3 meetings in the space of 2 Fridays. First up, Friday the 13th. We'll hope for good luck then when they take on Scunthorpe and also Bellevue. And then on the 20th against kind of runaway leaders. I think Scunthorpe are the only team that can catch Leicester, but Leicester looks set fair to win the National Development League, and they'll be due on the 20th. And of course, there's still the Glasgow Tigers match to come. I think we're near to finalising the date for that, and that'll be announced in due course. Dave, John, we're getting into the meaty end of the season, and it's always nice to have meetings like this. People will say it's a cup, people say the KO Cup's bigger, people say the playoffs is what everyone chases, and people are allowed their opinion. But I tell you one thing, I'd much rather be in the Monarchs position just now than, and I don't mean this with disrespect, but a Berwick fan who, they can put their programme board and their Wolfsport jacket up on the shelf and not need to worry about that again till April next year. And still a big end to the season to come, John.
Yeah, it was funny. I was coming back from Cardiff on Sunday night, and I didn't actually even realise that was the case for Berwick. And I was talking to a family that were there, and they'd said their season was done, and I'm, can't it be done? He's like, no, it's done. I was like, oh, for crying out loud. So yeah, you're right. We've still got a chunk of speedway still to come, and whether it's the BSN Series Knockout Cup, it's a cup, and we've entered it. We want to win it. We want a final. The riders will want a final. They'll want to come away and say that they've won something this season as well. So no, I think there certainly seems a bit of a buzz about that. It's going to be a good meeting. The last few meetings have been excellent. The rain didn't help against Glasgow, but before that, it's been good. So we enter the competition, we want to win it, and I'm sure the riders, you ask a Josh or a Paco or a Lassa, and I guarantee you they'll tell you, absolutely, I want to win this tournament.
Yeah, and
definitely. So
I'm
just going to say, there can only be a maximum of 3 teams win a team tournament. One team could do the treble. You could have one team win a double, but only 3 teams out of the league can come away with silverware. So and it's been, let's be honest here, we had some great years through the 2000s and 2010s as Monarchs fans, but you have to say the 2020s haven't been too good to us so far. So it'd be great to get that sort of monkey off our back and pick up and win a trophy. And it's another two meetings we're talking about. It's still only August, and let's get some speedway late September and October. Cup final, a proper dark night of speedway. Last 15 heat awarded to win a trophy there. They're the nights we're after.
Yeah, I was just going to say there before that, the BSN series, very much the League Cup or the Premier Trophy or whatever it's called in Scottish football now.
I like that. I'm a big fan of that tournament.
I was going to say, one out of the 3 of us is certainly enjoying life in that competition this season. But yeah, we've touched on it before, and we've maybe tried to turn this into a social this season. Tonight it's probably very much a preview show, such as the manner of the fixture on Friday. So one last plug, Friday night, 7:30 at Armadale. It's the BSN Series Semi-Final first leg against Scunthorpe. Tickets are available at edinburghmonarchs.co.uk/tickets. Your stream is available for those that can't make it along, edinburghmonarchs.co.uk/EMTV. That'll probably just about do us. One last thing just to mention, anyone that kind of keeps an eye on the Monarchs socials or website, I've noticed the end of season award dinner, as it's been rebranded this year. Slight change up in how we're doing it this year, an awards ceremony and dinner dance as well. Saturday the 26th of October at the Village Hotel in Edinburgh. Your early bird prices for blue and gold card members, and I think maybe general sale as well, till the 16th of September. And for anyone wanting to stay at the Pilton Hilton, as it's affectionately known in Edinburgh, are available until the 31st of August. So I know the last couple have been at the Leonardo. Those were cracking nights. I'm not going to say how upset I am at the fact that the Leonardo is less than 10 minutes walk from my house, and now we've got to go down there. Oh, Dave's kicked John out. That's how much Falkirk chat he wants out of him. So I guess we'll see John on Friday. And there you go, John. I thought David just had enough of the Falkirk
He's back.
chat.
He's back. It was nothing to do with me. He's getting too excited. You thought he was going to talk about Falkirk for a second.
Yeah, so until Friday night, when actually we've not discussed it, Dave. I know you're in hospitality on Friday, so it might just be myself with a Friday focus. We'll see how much Dave's enjoyed hospitality.
Yeah. Oh, you'll be happy. There's no NDL on Friday. The lads are down at Redcar for the latest instalment of the British Youth Championship, so there won't be any NDL. I don't know. There might still be one or two guys practicing after the meeting, but we
all want a Friday focus with Dave Harley 10 pints down. We want to see that, so let's make that happen.
That's a point. Does the Wi-Fi extend up to the hospitality lounge? I'll head up there.
Yeah, we'll bring it up there. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Do it from there. So until some form of myself and Dave are back on Friday night with that, as always, thank you very much for watching. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, John, and goodbye.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.